This is Partners in Crime with Adam Croft and Robert Dawes.
Another week, another episode, and just worked out, Bob, it's episode 59 we're on now.
Well, that means the next one's episode 60.
It does. Well done, well done.
Fantastic deduction.
Yes, we can see why you're a writer.
Yes, and that's going to be Easter, so that's going to be a nice celebration. We're going to be celebrating the Easter holiday and our 60th episode.
Maybe we should hide episode 60 in someone's garden, and everyone has to kind of run around and find it.
That's quite a good idea. Well, we are celebrating in Ampthill this year, the anniversary of a very special... Well, I'll go into that a little later on. There's a mystery. Actually, I'll put this out there to listeners. Ampthill in Bedfordshire is well known for a particular mystery.
Oh, yes.
Something was buried up on the hill in Ampthill.
Was it the anniversary of that this year?
Yes,
right,
and
yes.
the town is celebrating it, and it is a mystery, and it was a nationwide mystery, and it was a competition to find out who could discover through... well, I'm not going to go. You just look it up and see if you can deduce what the hell I'm talking about.
Is it because you can't remember the details?
Yeah. He sees right through me every single time.
I know, because I use the same tactics.
Well, he's quite easy because he looks to my right, so he looks in one ear and he can see clear out the other, especially when I've forgotten something. But yes, so I've my memory lapse has now created a sort of competition. So the person who comes back with the first one gets a new mug.
You're not giving away more mugs, are you?
I'm giving away one more mug. One more mug. So the person who comes up to find what the Ampthill mystery is, what was buried here, and why, and when, and who by, wins a Partners in Crime Slurpee mug.
We're going to go into that next week, actually, I think, and talk about the mystery, because it is quite funky and it is quite local to us, and it is jolly good fun. Something else that we need to do, which we didn't do last week, and we did get a little bit of a kicking in the show notes from the show notes writer.
Who, she's harsh. She's harsh.
Well, up until now has been known as the show notes writer. She's been getting more and more kind of arrogant and cocky as the time has gone on.
Well, we like that, don't we? We like some pushback.
And she a few weeks ago had an idea. I mean, let's be honest. Ideas above her station that she should be given a name.
Yeah, well,
and we put it out to listener vote.
That's right.
We decided to go with democracy, the will of the people, and and we had lots of suggestions on our Facebook group, on our Facebook page, email and Twitter and all sorts of things. And we read a few out. We had, I think Dr. Strange was one of them.
Yes.
Moriarty was one. I can't find the others in front of me now, but we just... Oh, hang on, here's some more. The Scribester. Picto, Partners in Crime, Tidbit Officiator. Yes. But we decided, didn't we? We thought our favourite was Moriarty.
Yes.
Which I think kind of, she sits in the background. You never see her. It's very, very crime linked as well. You don't get much more crimey than the Sherlock Holmes stories, do you? So
and it's universal. I think that's good because we just hit on one ourselves, didn't we? Just now, if listeners to Radio 2 will remember Sally Traffic, so we thought a good name for her would have been Sally Social Media Traffic. But that's one for UK listeners only. But I think Moriarty is a classic.
I don't think that joke travels to Trinidad, does it?
You don't know.
You don't know.
You never know.
I'll be surprised.
It's a shrinking world.
But Jay Gill, congratulations to you for selecting that winner. So,
yes. And Jay Gill is a crime writer himself, I believe.
Yes, he is. Very good one too.
Excellent. Well done, Jay. Thank you very much. We now have a Moriarty as part of our team, and we welcome her.
Let's not be too, give her an inch, she'll take a mile, so be careful.
Is Moriarty, can that be a sort of dual sex?
I don't see why not.
Moriarty. Do you pronounce it slightly differently? Should we Moriarty? I don't know. Moriarty it is. There we are. Thank you very much indeed. So we're off to not exactly a flying start, but a start.
A slow start. It took us 4 minutes to get that far.
But welcome to Partners in Crime, everyone, because for those of us who are being sort of fed up to the hind teeth of Brexit bonkers and others abroad who may feel exactly the same about Trump tantrums and other parts of the world where things are not entirely fantastic. How nice it is to be able to relax
And talk about death.
And talk about mystery, murder, espionage, thrills and spills in an oasis of sanity, which of course is a good crime fiction book, and where better to come and get some recommendations for that little oasis than Partners in Crime.
I've got one. I actually managed to do some reading this week.
He's holding a book, everyone.
I've actually got a book.
And it's not a paperback, so we can't actually hear the sort of your trademark flip of the pages.
No, it is a hardback.
That's a very good sound effect. That's very good. I'm happy with that.
It is The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley.
Yes, I've read about this.
An amazing cover. It's bright yellow with a black silhouette of a stag. And there's a reason why. This is set in a remote place in the Scottish Highlands. In fact, I'll read the back. You do it. It fills 30 seconds.
It's always the best. Reading the back's got slightly more information usually than reading the front.
It saves you thinking as well, doesn't it? In a remote hunting lodge, deep in the Scottish wilderness, old friends gather for New Year. The beautiful one, the golden couple, the volatile one, the new parents, the quiet one, the city boy, the outsider, the victim. Not an accident, a murder among friends. And it says on the inside here, old friends can get away with murder. New Year's Eve at the Lochhorin estate. The Hogmanay celebrations are in full flow. 9 old friends swapping stories and revelling in forgotten memories. Yet secretly, the group know they no longer have anything in common except shared history, deep old wounds, and friendship-destroying secrets. As a thick blizzard descends and the clock strikes 12, a broken body is found in the snow. The group are trapped, and all signs are pointing to murder. No one can get in, and no one can get out. Not even the killer.
Oh, lovely. See that?
Oh, I don't like a book that creaks when you close it.
You don't like a book?
I do, yes. It's quite nice.
But I thought that was you reading it.
That's my knees.
That's your knees. That's your knees. Yeah, well, that could be a classic Agatha Christie description.
Well, exactly. That's kind of what drew me towards
Agatha Christie dust jacket.
I mean, the writing is very much not. No. It's a very kind of recent style of writing, very particular style. But yeah, the concept of it, the structure is very much not Agatha Christie either. But it is, I guess concept-wise, that's exactly what drew me towards it actually. So it's an interesting mix of different things, and I'm about getting on for 2/3 of the way through.
Yes.
I'm really enjoying it. I'm not entirely sure who's dead yet. I don't know if that's actually been hidden from us and is being kept until later.
Are you 2/3 of the way through and there isn't a dead body yet?
Oh, the dead body was literally in chapter 1.
Oh, right. That's where we like the dead body.
And it jumps backwards and forwards in time, and I'm not entirely sure if I just wasn't paying attention and I've missed it, or if we've deliberately had it kept from us who the dead body is up until now. So I'll let you know. If I get to the end and I still don't know, then I must have missed it. They haven't repeated the name at all in the book, so they must just be keeping it from us.
It's quite an achievement, isn't it, to actually get to the end of a murder mystery and have no idea.
Not for me. It's quite common
if
for me.
If anyone's been murdered. Well,
my attention span. Oh, look, a shiny thing.
Well, it looks very nice. And it's a very nice cover as well. Well, okay, over to me, for better or usually for worse. Robert Goddard, one of my favourite writers, is this year's winner of the Crime Writers Association Diamond Dagger Award, a very, very, very prestigious award in the UK for crime fiction writers. Robert Goddard, for those who don't know, is one of the UK's top thriller writers, and I have long enjoyed reading his books, and he has got a brand new one out, just published in March, which is called The Panic Room. The Guardian described Robert Goddard as one of the world's greatest storytellers, and Lee Child says of this book, full of sinister menace and propulsive pace with twisty plotting. That's what we like. We like a little bit of twisty plotting. I've never heard of propulsive pace before. That's a nice... There's a full of plosives there, but shouldn't do that on mic. That's one of the first things professionally you learn, not to pop your peas.
You managed to get that right through the pop shield as well.
I did. I was quietly determined to pop out.
They're not perfect.
No. But
see how I said that? Perfect. Nice soft radio P.
Well, the idea is you actually, of course, talking to the mic, but just before you get to the P, you just turn your head. So you go propulsive pace.
Yeah, that's why you talk across the mic.
Yes,
a nice soft radio P. See that one? You're almost like a B, but a P.
Yeah, a little bit of broadcasting technique there for listeners who... you can wake up now, everyone. We're back to the plot of The Panic Room by Robert Goddard. Here's what it says on its dust jacket. Sometimes the danger is on the inside. Well, yes, it certainly is. High on a Cornish cliff. That's a great start, isn't it? High on a Cornish cliff. How many novels have been set in Cornwall? This is Daphne du Maurier Land.
Or Poldark. You should have got that one, shouldn't you?
High on a Cornish cliff sits a vast, uninhabited mansion. Uninhabited except for Blake. A young woman of dubious background, secretive and alone, currently acting as house-sitter. The house has a panic room, cunningly concealed, steel-lined, impregnable, and apparently closed from within. Even Blake doesn't know it's there. She's too busy being on the run from life, from a story she thinks she's escaped. But her remote existence is going to be invaded when people come looking for the house's owner, missing rogue farmer entrepreneur Jack Harkness. Suddenly the whole world wants to know where his money has gone. Soon people are going to come knocking on the door, people with motives and secrets of their own, who will be asking Blake the sort of questions she can't or won't want to answer. And will the Panic Room ever give up its secrets? Panic Room is Robert Goddard at his nerve-shredding best. A sliver of a mystery kicks off a juggernaut of a thriller. Layers of secrets, half-truths and lies must be peeled back to reveal what really lies within. Well, that sounds like a absolutely smashing read. As I say, he's a great favourite of mine, and I am going to get stuck into this over Easter. Panic Room, Robert Goddard, just recently published.
Well, if you like the sound of anything we're recommending today, books-wise, we highly recommend you head over to kobo.com to get your copy of one of those books. If you are a new listener to Partners in Crime, enter the promo code CRIME at the checkout, and the lovely folk at Kobo will give you 90% off of your first ebook purchase. If you're an existing Kobo customer, use the promo code PARTNERS and you'll get 40% off of all of your book purchases. Every time you use that, you can use that promo code for life and get almost half price off of all the books you buy, which is absolutely insane, but also wonderful. You don't need an ebook reader or anything like that. You can download the free app for your phone or tablet and do it that way. Very, very good indeed. Thank you very much to Kobo for that. And that was The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley and The Panic Room by Robert Goddard. Bob, I'm impressed. We've got nearly 13 minutes of the way through the episode and you've not mentioned Line of Duty yet.
No, and I'm not going to. Because I am going to reserve my judgment on this series until I've seen every single episode. Needless to say, I'm still not mentioning the name, although I'm talking about it. It's great.
I enjoyed it. I wasn't as taken by the first episode as much as I was the other series of Line of Duty until the last 10 seconds.
Yes, well,
then I remembered why I love Jed Mercurio.
He does that.
I had my jaw on the floor. I just went, what?
So, but watch the whole of the first episode. Don't just cut to the last 10 seconds.
Well, no, it won't make any sense.
Yes, Jed Mercurio at his mercurial best. You've got me talking about Line of Duty. You see,
and you said it. You said
right,
it.
and I've just said it. Damn.
£1 in the swear jar.
Come on, Dawes, concentrate. Right.
No, it is brilliant, and I'm sure everyone has seen it. If you haven't, you are missing it out big time. BBC iPlayer, I think it's probably available worldwide. It's probably on Netflix and things now as well, isn't it? I think.
Yep.
So.
Well, hopefully our listeners who haven't listened to it have actually sourced and are watching it from the very first series.
Yeah.
And what a lovely time they're going to have.
So well written, so brilliantly cast, and just everything about it. It just seems to keep getting better and better. So very much looking forward to Sunday night and watching episode 2 of Line of Duty.
Well, it's also the strength of an ensemble company. The three main protagonists and various satellite characters who come back not in every single episode, but turn up, say, in every other episode. It's like reading a series of a book series. You feel comfortable, and as a writer, you hope that if you're writing your characters, the more you you write about them, the better you know them, the more you discover about them, the more you invent for them. And so it is with a writer like Jen Mercurio, because he's writing those parts also for the specific actors, people like Adrian Dunbar and Martin Compston, and it's
and Vicky McClure is the other one you're thinking of.
Vicky McClure, I saw him looking at my ear again. So, Vicky McClure, a wonderful actress. So yeah, I mean, it's a hugely great ensemble acting achievement before you even sort of get into the story. They're terrific artists, each and every one. And before you get onto production values, very high production values. The BBC haven't stinted on this one at all.
Well, there is a reason it is the world's best known broadcasting corporation's flagship programme. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
there's a reason for that.
So I've got another recommendation here.
Go on then, beat me to it.
Yeah, okay. Oh, have you got one?
No, well, not a book one. I've got two more TV ones.
Oh, well, while we're on a TV line,
Let's segue in, shall we?
Yes.
I've also been watching, continuing the current series of 24 Hours in Police Custody, a Channel 4 programme. It's, I guess, a fly-on-the-wall documentary about police custody at Luton Police Station.
Set in our home county.
In our home county, yes. So it's really interesting because I've been in that police station. I've been in that custody suite.
I know, and I've come along and bailed you out so many times.
As a writer, in my capacity as crime author for research.
Yes, you've been there for that too.
I've been in that custody suite. I've seen people being booked in there at that desk and put into cells and interviewed and all the rest of it. So it's really interesting for me seeing that. Quite often, places that we know well pop up on the series.
Speak for yourself.
Dunstable High Street and its associated pubs. For me.
Yes, for you. You're a Dunstable boy.
But it's really fascinating, and for me, it's my. Although I enjoy watching it, it's my research time as well, because you get to kind of see behind the scenes in the CID office and the way things are done. And the most recent episode this week was very interesting. And this is something that 24 Hours in Police Custody do, and it's something that Bedfordshire Police are comfortable doing. They've done it a couple of times now, is showing episodes which do not necessarily paint Bedfordshire Police in the best light and show the downsides to what they do and what happens when things go a bit wrong and things aren't quite as slick and organised as they should be. There's an episode, I think last series or the series before, about a police officer who was actually found to be the criminal. Somebody who was actually involved in the investigation was discovered to actually be the person they were looking for. He was one of the investigating officers. It was absolutely extraordinary, and they showed it. And this week, I won't go into too much detail, but although they got there in the end, it was a shambles up until that point. They had somebody who he was a drugs kingpin, and he was found at Manchester Airport trying to fly out of the country, and they sent a note to Bedfordshire Police saying, we haven't got the resources to go and arrest him. You'll have to come up from Bedfordshire to Manchester and arrest him yourself, or we'll let him fly out of the country. So they went up there and they got him. They came back, and it was a job that was meant to be dealt with by Bedford CID, but they said they didn't have the resources, so Luton would have to deal with it, except none of the police officers there knew anything about the case or knew anything about him, because a different CID had been dealing with it. They sent some paperwork down. They sent an officer down who they said would assist from Bedford. The officer from Bedford knew nothing about it either, and she thought she was going there to assist Luton CID. So they had to go into an interview because, of course, the reason it's called 24 Hours in Police Custody is in the UK under the Police and Criminal Evidence Act of 1984, I believe.
Subsection 3, paragraph 4.
It might well be. It's over there on my bookshelf if you want to go and grab it and check it out. But you have 24 hours in which to
charge.
So either charge or release a suspect. You can get extensions, but that's generally the rule. And their time was running out, and they had about 5 hours left in order to interview him, and they knew nothing about the case, and they had two officers going in there to interview him who basically knew nothing about it, and they were going in asking fairly inane questions, and you could see the look on the guy's face as he was looking at his lawyer thinking, what are they doing? Who have they sent in here? It was absolutely extraordinary to see how badly it can be messed up when the system goes wrong.
A little farcical.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
as you say, very brave of them to actually just allow that in. But I mean, it's not only the rare occasion when they're sort of things like that happen. It's also, I mean, a great insight into how difficult policing is and detective work as well. But so I might not watch that. Was there a car chase in it?
No.
I might give that one a miss.
No.
But I mean, the series as a whole is absolutely fantastic, and it's all done on multi-camera. This wonderful thing that they do in documentaries now, where they have about 40 different cameras all over the place, and they edit the show together from this huge amount of footage that I have going. And that
also means they don't need to pay a cameraman.
Well, they do actually, because there's a cameraman who has to set it all up. I mean, it's quite and you have to sort of, it's quite a complicated process, but it's enough to produce some terrific programs.
The editing must be a nightmare.
The hospital documentaries that you have as well, and things like that. So it works particularly well for crime and medical documentaries. So so what was that again? It was called
24 Hours in Police
24 Hours.
Custody. Channel 4 here in the UK. I'm fairly sure it's available abroad as well. I think I have seen some American people, for example, talking about it. So I'm not quite sure how you get hold of it, but do give it a go.
Well, from policing in Luton, the ups and downs of policing in the Bedfordshire area, we now move to Bombay. My second recommendation this week is The Widows of Malabar Hill by Sujata Masse. And I've just read this, and I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. I'll give you a little rundown of what it's about. 1920s India. Parveen Mistry, Bombay's only female lawyer, is investigating a suspicious will on behalf of 3 Muslim widows living in Fulperda when the case takes a turn towards the murderous. The author of the Agatha and Macavity award-winning Raishimura novels brings us an atmospheric new historical mystery with a captivating heroine. Parveen Mistry, the daughter of a respected family, has just joined her father's law firm, becoming one of the first female lawyers in India. Armed with a legal education from Oxford, Parveen also has a tragic personal history that makes women's legal rights especially important to her. Mystery Law has been appointed to execute the will of Mr. Omar Farid, a wealthy Muslim mill owner who has left 3 widows behind. But as Parveen examines the paperwork, she notices something strange. All 3 of the wives have signed over their full inheritance to a charity. What will they live on? Parveen is suspicious, especially since one of the widows has signed her form with an X, meaning she probably couldn't even read the document. The Farad widows live in Fulperda in strict seclusion, never leaving the woman's quarters or speaking to any men. Are they being taken advantage of by an unscrupulous guardian, or even guardian? Have you ever been taken advantage of by an unscrupulous guardian? Actually, I've seen you working in your bushes in the back garden there, and I think you probably have.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the plot. Parveen tries to investigate and realises her instincts were correct when tensions escalate to murder. Now it is her responsibility to figure out what really happened on Malabar Hill and to ensure that no innocent women or children are in further danger.
Did you say escalate?
Yes.
Just a moment ago.
Did I say escalate?
Escalate.
Did I?
Do you often escalate in your garden?
Escalate. Did I say yes? When tensions escalate, or no. Parveen was using
if we
escalator.
If we bothered to edit this thing, we could just go back and do that all again.
Well,
but they'll work it out. They
will. But whether she's using an escalator or the tensions were escalating, it did still lead to murder anyway. Inspired in part by the woman who made history as India's first female attorney, The Widows of Malabar Hill is a richly wrought story of multicultural 1920s Bombay, as well as the debut of a sharp new sleuth. It's a wonderful read, and for lovers of our friend Vasim Khan's Inspector Chopra series, if you haven't read any of those, then look at Partners in Crime Library, because our interview with Vasim Khan is there, and smashing chappie is too, and a great crime writer. But I have to say, this is a super book, The Widows of Malabar Hill by Sujata Masse, who's a new writer to me, but well worth reading over your Easter holes.
Does sound good to me. The only other thing I watched this week was kind of accidentally, and it is crime related. I don't really have a whole lot to say about it because It's the murder of Jill Dando, which was on the BBC earlier this week on Tuesday night, I think. And that was, I mean, it's a story now. It's 20 years, did you know? It's the 20th anniversary.
Do you know what? I'm sorry to interrupt, but I remember it very well because I was filming a film for the BBC called Mystery of Men, and that particular day, the late great Warren Clark and myself were filming on the top floor of Hammersmith Hospital, doing several scenes, and word came up that Jill Dando had just been brought into the accident emergency and had been shot
at that hospital.
And we were filmed for the rest of the day, so we were actually at site when it happened. So it's a tragedy that I felt sadly very close to, and I can remember it was
literally
one of those. It was a terrible day to film because we all knew that when we found out that she'd actually died, it was a terrible thing, and where we were just upstairs filming, and it all just seemed, we looked around at each other and said, what are we doing? We're just, we're here, make believe, and real life tragedy is taking place downstairs. But a shocking crime that is as yet, as you're about to tell us, I'm sure, unsolved.
Yes, well, they thought they had solved it. They had arrested somebody and found out they'd got the wrong man, imprisoned the wrong man, in fact. And it seems that the crime probably goes much deeper than that. There's probably... Jill Dando, for those who don't know, perhaps from overseas, was a very, very well-known, very prominent and much-loved TV presenter here in the UK who was shot dead on her doorstep 20 years ago. She presented a programme called Crime Watch, which highlighted unsolved crimes that had happened and tried to get those solved with the help of the public. She was also an investigative journalist who was looking
did the holiday programme for many years as well. I mean, she was a big star with the BBC, and I met her a couple of times at BBC parties, and she was utterly charming and lovely. Everything that you saw on screen, she seemed to be off camera as well, and sort of, she really went to the nation's hearts, I think. So,
of course, as an investigative journalist, she was looking at some very high profile crimes and some crime syndicates and various different... it's all gone into in the documentary far more carefully than I think I could if I were to try and surmise it now. So if you can get hold of that on the BBC iPlayer, The Murder of Jill Dando, very interesting stuff.
So,
what a high note to finish on.
Well, yes. What
a positive tone.
Well, yes, I know. But, how deeply sad. Well, no, let's not finish there. Let's go. Because that is.
Do a little dance or something.
Sad.
Come on, cheer us up.
No. No, it's all I can do to lift my mug of coffee. I'm going to give a plug for... It's the festival season, ladies and gentlemen. It's the festival season. The literary festival season is underway. I've just got back from a lovely time at the Oxford Literary Festival, which was a splendid do in that beautiful city of spires and education, universities and quads and extraordinary things. But we had a great time there on Sunday. And both of us have got lots of festival commitments coming up. But the first one I'm going to mention is on the 1st of June, I am going to be talking at the Greenway Literary Festival. Now, if you don't know what Greenway is, it is Greenway House, which was the home of Agatha Christie. And this year, for the first time, they are working with the National Trust to bring an extraordinary, wide-ranging literary festival. A changing daily programme of workshops, talks and activities will explore the literary heritage of Greenway with a children's book week in May half-term, followed by a week exploring crime writing and other genres. Agatha Christie described Greenway as the loveliest place in the world. It was here that she had her holiday home on the banks of the River Dart. With a long history dating back to the 1490s, the house still retains features added by all generations of occupying families. Now managed by the National Trust, the property offers visitors an extraordinary glimpse into the private life of the Queen of Crime and her family. And so I'm going down on the 1st of June, and I'll be giving a talk on my Gibraltar-based murder mystery series, the Sullivan and Broderick, and introducing my new book, which is going to be published at the end of this month, which is The Killing Rock. Come on, it'd be lovely to see you. Pop along for an hour, and I'll tell you all about it. And
buy you an ice cream.
But that's put me on the spot.
It has. Thought I'd tuck you up with that one.
Okay, I'll tell you what. A 99, 2 lovely chocolate flakes in the top of my. I'll see what I can do. If they sell ice cream, they're bound to. It's National Trust. There's always a nice ice cream available at the National Trust site. So yes, I don't know why I would. What can I do? The first person who comes up and said, "I've listened to you on Partners in Crime at the Greenway Festival," gets an ice cream on me. How about that?
Don't say we don't splash out.
No,
we can't say we don't treat you.
We don't know. It's quite extraordinary. Cash prizes every week. Brand new cars, yachts, holidays to exotic climes. None of those are available on Partners in Crime.
Just ice cream everywhere.
Yeah.
And on that note, I think we've picked up the tone nicely.
Yeah.
Shall we end there?
Have you got any ice cream in the fridge?
Not in the fridge, no. In the freezer, maybe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a novelty. I know, to put it in the freezer rather than the fridge.
Oh no, we can. Well, the fact is, with
does it not melt in the fridge?
Look, I've got I've got kids in the house,
yeah,
and kids' friends. So ice cream enters the house. It never gets into the freezer because it's gone.
Oh right.
So occasionally.
Is it quite soft when it's in the fridge then?
Well, it becomes quite soft. Of course, it does.
Yeah. Probably doesn't last long enough though. Does
it? Well, I'm not going to promise that. If you come to Greenway, you're going to get a hard ice cream.
How's that for an offer?
Partners in Crime was presented by Adam Croft and Robert Dawes and produced by Adam Croft. The theme tune was by the Caesareans. The Partners in Crime logo and imagery were designed by Stuart Beisch. Partners in Crime is sponsored by Kobo, your favourite local bookshop, perfected.